England qualified for the World Cup with victory over Slovenia last week. England manager Gareth Southgate painted a brutally honest picture of his current squad and arguably their chances at next summer's World Cup when he cast doubt on whether he possessed big players. Southgate has secured qualification for Russia, but England's progress has been unspectacular and they will not travel accompanied by great expectations. England's last brush with tournament football was that harrowing night in Nice in June last year when they lost 21 to Iceland in the last 16 of Euro 2016 and manager Roy Hodgson effectively resigned on the spot. The pre-World Cup challenges facing Southgate followed a dismal World Cup in Brazil in 2014, when England did not make it out of the group stage following defeats by Italy and Uruguay and were reduced to the embarrassment of playing out a dead rubber against Costa Rica in their final game. So, with Southgate putting his squad's quality into context, and looking back at previous selections, are England in any better shape to make an impact in Russia than they were in Brazil and France? Goalkeepers: England took Fraser Forster, Ben Foster and Joe Hart to the 2014 World Cup and Tom Heaton, Forster and Hart to Euro 2016. England's goalkeepers at the past two tournaments: World Cup 2014, Euro 2016. Fraser Forster, Celtic; Tom Heaton, Burnley; Ben Foster, West Brom; Fraser Forster, Southampton; Joe Hart, Manchester City. Joe Hart, Manchester City. England's goalkeepers for the 2018 World Cup almost picked themselves, and it is a stronger hand than Hodgson had to play with in the past two major tournaments. Southgate appears to have settled on Joe Hart as his first choice, but the memories of his edgy, hyped-up displays in the 2014 World Cup and his crucial errors for goals conceded against Wales and Iceland at Euro 2016 mean this is a debate that will continue. England are in a better place to deal with this problem now because backup and competition is better than it has been for years, with 24-year-old Jack Butland excelling at Stoke City and Jordan Pickford, 23, shining after his £30 million move to Everton. Hart needs to maintain his form to fight off this pair, with Burnley's Tom Heaton also in the shake-up for a squad place, but he will be under the microscope once the World Cup starts to see how he copes with the pressure. Verdict: England's overall quality is stronger, but Southgate looks set to keep faith with a keeper whose flaws were exposed in Brazil and France. Will it prove a mistake? Defenders Gary Cahill and Chris Smalling are the only two defenders to have been in both of England's past two major tournament squads. England's defenders at the past two tournaments: World Cup 2014, Euro 2016, Leighton Baines, Everton; Ariane Bertrand, Southampton; Gary Cahill, Chelsea; Gary Cahill, Chelsea; Phil Jagielka, Everton; Nathaniel Clyne, Liverpool; Glenn Johnson, Liverpool; Danny Rose, Tottenham; Phil Jones, Manchester United; Chris Smalling, Manchester United; Luke Shaw, Southampton; John Stones, Everton; Chris Smalling, Manchester United; Kyle Walker, Tottenham. England's options in the defensive areas for next year look stronger than they did in previous tournaments, but that does not mean Southgate's backline will give off an air of confidence. The fullbacks are almost interchangeable, with Kyle Walker established at right back and Ryan Bertrand now the regular left back. Liverpool's Nathaniel Clyne and Danny Rose at Tottenham provide similar alternatives but are struggling with injury. A back four of Leighton Baines, Gary Cahill, Phil Jagielka and Glenn Johnson was aging and cruelly exposed in Brazil, and Southgate will surely be casting eyes in the direction of Manchester in the hope a solid central defensive partnership emerges. John Stones and Gary Cahill played together in the recent qualifier against Slovenia at Wembley. Phil Jones' career had threatened to stall after early comparisons with Duncan Edwards, but he has flourished under Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. John Stones, who also suffered a dip after his £47.5 million move from Everton to Manchester City, is again starting to look like the defender who was once regarded as the future but then disappeared almost undetected from the England team. Jones and Stones, at their best and if the renaissance continues, offer a good blend in central defence and an upgrade on the Cahill-Chris Smalling partnership in France, but Southgate may still want the Chelsea's captain's experience, even though he has struggled at major tournaments. He will probably want his pairing to come from those three, with Smalling still in contention, because the likes of Leicester City's Harry Maguire and Everton's Michael Keane offer promise, but will have nothing in the way of experience at the sharp end of a major tournament when the action starts in Russia. Southgate opened up another possibility by using a three-man defensive system in Sunday's final qualifier in Lithuania. England have high-profile friendlies coming up against Germany and Brazil, and they would appear to be the perfect opportunity to test out his preferred players in that system against high-class opposition. England's defensive candidates in the Premier League since August 2016: game stack, les blocks, interceptions, clearance, SBS accuracy percent. Ryan Bertrand 354,415,525,383.61. Gary Cahill 4,155,184,817,988.06. Nathaniel Klein 37,802,435,483.34. Phil Jones 2,543,184,117,990.57. Michael Keane 4,138,570,530,274.68. Harry Maguire 3,664,347,618,076.70. Danny Rose 18,503,225,277.27. Chris Smalling 201,291,613,388.56. John Stones 3,433,144,612,992.88. Kyle Walker 397,764,210,981.68. Chris Waddle, who reached a World Cup semi-final with England in 1990, has concerns. Central defence has been a problem for a long time now, since people like Rio Ferdinand left the scene, he said. I don't think we've really had an outstanding partnership since the Terry Ferdinand years. I think age is creeping up on some, and the younger ones like Keane and Maguire have the experience to go into a major tournament against the likes of Brazil, Argentina, Germany and Spain. I'm not so sure. Verdict: if Jones and Stones are at their best, they will be a nice contrast and give England a more solid appearance in central defence. It is still a big if at this stage of the season. Walker and Bertrand de Rose will be the fullback partnership, positions England were found short in at the past two tournaments. A barge pole in France. Even Jack Wilshere's name has appeared in the debate after resurfacing at Arsenal. Former England international Waddle suggested Chelsea new boy Danny Drinkwater and Newcastle United maverick John Joe Shelvey as possibilities, and the stakes are high. If Southgate can find the answer, England could make real progress on what was on offer in Brazil and France. Chris Waddle's England starting 11 at the 2018 World Cup. A creative player could serve Dele Alli in his telepathic link with Spurs teammate Harry Kane, and Adam Lallana, England's best player before his injury, according to Southgate, will be another important addition in the midfield area once he is fit and playing for Liverpool. There are young possibilities such as Everton teenager Tom Davies, Spurs rookie Harry Winks and Nathaniel Chalobah at Watford, but it would require serious progress and serious trust from Southgate. It could end up being a mix-and-match three-man midfield of Dia centrally, with Lallana and Henderson either side, Ali at 10 and a threatening strike force of Kane and Manchester United's Marcus Rashford. Verdict: Southgate will hope for a late wildcard, perhaps Barkley, to stake a claim. Otherwise England's stodgy central midfield will lack imagination and offer little improvement on 2014 in Brazil and France last summer. Forwards: Harry Kane bottom left is certain to lead the line for England in Russia. England's forwards at the past two tournaments: World Cup 2014, Euro 2016, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain Arsenal, Harry Kane Tottenham, Ricky Lambert Southampton, Marcus Rashford Manchester United, Wayne Rooney Manchester United, Wayne Rooney Manchester United, Raheem Sterling Liverpool, Raheem Sterling Manchester City, Daniel Sturridge Liverpool, Daniel Sturridge Liverpool, Danny Welbeck Manchester United, Jamie Vardy Leicester. England will definitely pose more danger in attack than in France, when Kane looked exhausted and Wayne Rooney's England career was drawing to a disappointing conclusion. Kane is rejuvenated, full of confidence, and is now a match winner on the brink of world class. Rashford will have another 12 months of experience and know how to make even more use of his fearlessness and blistering pace that will force any defence in world football to take a few steps back. If one, or indeed both, come off in Russia with Ali in support, England will carry real danger if they can get the supply right. Phil Neville's England starting 11 at the 2018 World Cup. Former England international Phil Neville told BBC Sport, "We know the qualifying rounds are not really a barometer, and friendlies are exactly that. Until we go to a major tournament, it is difficult to say England are going to do this or that. We have got quality. This team are better for experiences in France. I see this as a fantastically talented England team who have got every chance of doing well in a tournament, but until they get there and see how they react under pressure, we will never know." England were short of punch in Brazil and France. Kane and Rashford can provide the knockout blows with the pace of Leicester City's Jamie Vardy, a weapon off the bench. Verdict: if it all comes together and Kane and Rashford stay fit, this is an area of real progress and promise for Southgate and England. Manager Gareth Southgate took over from Roy Hodgson's successor, Sam Allardyce, who left the England job after one game. Hodgson actually looked at his best at Euro 2012, weeks into the England job and concentrating on what he did and does best. Organisation. In Brazil and France, it looked like Hodgson was too keen to get with it to prove critics who questioned his pragmatic style wrong, tinkering with attacking formations in a manner that was out of character, with inevitably disappointing results. Southgate, new to the job and this elite level of international football, will be learning as he goes, but the 2018 World Cup will be no free hit. He will need to produce acceptable results. England's World Cup wins 2014 and 2010: Slovenia 102-006, Paraguay 10, Trinidad Tobago 20, Ecuador 102-002, Argentina 10, Denmark 301-998, Tunisia 20, Colombia 20. Former England captain Terry Butcher is an admirer, saying, "I have seen him change systems and personnel." The Wayne Rooney situation, when he left his captain and major personality out, is an example where he showed he had a tough mentality and a tough character. Sometimes people see a calmness and gentleness about him, but you shouldn't mistake that for timidity and being afraid. He has got a lot of steel there. Gareth would not have had the career he had as a player without real steel and character. He was captain everywhere he played, and he would not be England manager without being ruthless. He has shown he can be ruthless and flexible. I have got no worries about Gareth and I am quite looking forward to him going into the World Cup as England manager. Southgate is a calm-headed realist who accepts some recent England displays have been disappointing. They have made heavy weather of a comfortable group and will strike no fear into opponents in Russia. Southgate has a matter of months to put that right. Verdict: Southgate will find it hard to do any worse than Hodgson did in Brazil and France, but whether he is the upgrade England required will only be measured by events next summer. England have improved goalkeeping alternatives, but will Southgate use them and an attack that looks potent as the preparations ramp up? Midfield, however, is a serious headache. Friendlies against Germany and Brazil will sharpen some of the blurred lines around England's squad and their World Cup aspirations, but Southgate believes he has a blend of youth and experience to prove they are a better bet in Russia than they have been at recent showpiece events.